I'm pleased to have two very young filmmakers in my midst, Taylor Montemarano and Lorenzo De Campos. Thank you very much for being here. All right, you guys are 24 years old, and you've already made your first documentary called You and Me. Tell me about it. Give me your elevator speech about what this documentary is about, Lorenzo.
Elevator speech, okay. So you have a young man in a wheelchair because of a car accident when he was 20 years old, and you have a young woman who's running away from home because she feels secluded. And then they meet each other at their lowest of their lives, and they bring each other up, and now they're married, and he's learned to walk, and she's becoming a pop singer. That is the elevator pitch, I guess.
Yeah, that is. Now you've got a world champion surfer in here.
Yes.
Tell me about him.
Mick Fanning. He is really good friends with Barney, who is the, I guess, the second main character of the film. He helped him get back into the water when he was still he's still a quadriplegic. He's surfing on his stomach now because
which is amazing. Taylor, how did you meet this young guy to say, hey, let's do a documentary, and let's do it not in this country, let's do it in, oh, I don't know, Australia, and then go somewhere else. So how does this come together for folks that are watching the two of you going, gosh, they're so young, how did they get the funding? Did they fund it themselves? How did you guys come together?
Well, I actually met Lorenzo at Quinnipiac University in our...
Yay, Connecticut.
Yes, exactly. In my sophomore year, we met in class, but in my senior year at Quinnipiac University, they asked us to pick a subject for our feature film, and it could either be a narrative or a doc, and I kind of, you know, was drawn to Lorenzo and his artistic skills, and I said, do you want to be on my senior project, in my senior project group, and come with me on this adventure? And he was like, what do you mean? Tell me a bit more about it. And I had reached out to my family and I said, does anybody have an idea for what I should focus my senior film on? And my cousin had grown up with Barney in Australia, and he said, you know, my best friend was injured in a car accident and he's learning how to walk again, and I think that you would really be inspired by his story. So I asked Lorenzo and a few of my friends if they wanted to go to Australia and film our senior film there, and Lorenzo was like, absolutely, but my professors were like, absolutely not.
Because?
And, well, they said that we'd never raise enough money, and, you know, we wouldn't have enough time there, and it just wouldn't be enough content to put together a 15-minute short film. So regardless of what our professors said, Lorenzo and I were like, well, Barney was told by doctors that he would never walk again, but he's not taking no for an answer, so neither should we. And we kind of packed our bags and went anyway.
How long did it take you to shoot it? And the two of you shot it yourselves?
Together, yeah.
And he was a friend, so you could talk him into
Yes.
this. So how do you start doing that? And over how many weeks, months did you make this?
It was over 4 years. We'd go for months at a time. In the beginning, it was just a couple weeks because we were kind of trying to figure out what exactly the story was. And so we went for, what, 2 weeks the first time?
2 weeks the first time.
And then gradually we were like, okay, well, we have really good content here, we should keep going. So we kept going. At 4 years later, we have over 500 hours of footage and just terabytes of data to go through and figure out, you know, where's like the meat, like where's the actual story.
So you get it edited down and it goes into a film festival, correct?
No, actually.
Or just debuted in April, I should say.
Well, yeah. So we actually did a theatrical run all over Australia and New Zealand. That was our first big premiere. We actually didn't do any film festivals, not yet.
And how was it received?
It was overwhelming.
Incredible.
Honestly, it was amazing. You know, it's kind of, I don't know how to say it. You know, you do this and you kind of do it for passion, and you know you have something amazing, but it's kind of like our baby at that point. Like only we've seen it, and you know the people that we let in, and then you kind of put it out for the world to see, and you have no idea what's going to happen, what the reaction is going to be like. And people were crying. People were saying this is the most amazing documentary I've ever seen. It's life-changing. Grown men were just in tears from it. You know, it's just, you're not sure what you're going to get, but it was an amazing reaction.
Let's take a look at just a snippet of this documentary.
Okay.
I'm David Barney Miller, and this is my story.
What if you were able to look ahead into your life and see what lies ahead for you? What if you could see everything you accomplish, the success you become, and the obstacles you have to face to get there? Would you still go for the ride?
I want to see it. So you make this documentary and now you're shopping it. You're going to get it into film festivals. And you just said to me, Lorenzo, that you saw people crying over it. So you've made emotion happen on film. How does that feel?
Incredible. I didn't think that we'd ever get to this point. It felt like, you know, our baby is finally growing up and we're sharing it with the world, and to see it so well received is just incredible.
Now, both of you have said to me, I'm not sure I want to do another documentary, but I do know I want to be a feature filmmaker. So how do you make the jump from a documentary to that? What are the first steps?
If you watch our film, you'll see that we didn't do it in the normal documentary style. And that was our plan from the get-go. We didn't want to do a documentary that is kind of just talking heads the whole time and the normal formula. We wanted something to be different and to be really engaging the entire time. And so if you watch it, you'll see it's actually very theatrical in the way it's done. It captures your attention the entire time, and that was our intent. You know, we wanted it to be visually stimulating, you know. I think that was like our progression into theatrical films, like dramas that we want to do eventually.
So if you go out to LA, that's the deal, and you want an Oscar at some point with a feature film?
I would love that.
That's the goal, yes.
That's definitely the goal.
So we're getting it out there now. You both going to move to LA?
Yeah. Yeah, we've been out there a lot of times for work already, so I think we just have to make the official jump out there and stay out there and get some film experience.
What in your childhoods led to you getting behind the camera and writing scripts and telling a story? You first.
Me first? Okay. So before this, I actually wanted to be a chef, and then in 9th grade, I joined my school's broadcast team, actually very similar to this, but on a very smaller scale. Every week we do a weekly newscast throughout the school, and I'd have to go out, capture, film little events throughout the school and edit it, and then it'd be aired live for the school to watch. I just got addicted to that process.
How about you, Taylor?
I was actually in, I think, my junior year of high school, and I had gone on a trip to Africa, and I had seen I had experienced what a third world country was really like. And when I came home, I tried to explain it to my family and my friends, but nobody quite understood it the way that I did. So the next trip that I saved up money and went on, I brought a camera with me, and I filmed everything that I saw, and I came back and I put together, I believe it was an 8-minute short film, and I showed it to my family and my friends, and it was the visuals and the story that I told through film that really made my family and friends understand what it was like there at the time. And through that, I had raised $6,000 for the families that I was living with over in Africa at the time. And to just see that I was able to explain how the third world country was through film motivated me to want to tell stories that way in the future as well.
So you're both storytellers. We need so many storytellers, so I would think that would be awesome. So from now, you're going to shop this, try to get into a film festival. Hopefully it gets into a film festival in Connecticut, which would be great. And then you start on a new journey out west. Is that, I mean, are you leaving like in 5 minutes to LA?
Yes,
or?
actually, you're holding us up. No. We both have jobs in New York City right now. I think we're going to play those out and then get out there hopefully by the end of the year, I'd say.
And is it film rather than television, or would you do television as well?
I would definitely do a scripted series.
Yeah.
I would definitely look into TV as well. I guess it would just depend on the storyline.
And neither one of you wants to be in front of the camera?
No.
No, we're not enjoying this right now.
No, this is horrible.
You hate this part.
Yeah, we have to be behind you for sure.
What would you do a film on next? What would be an idea that you have in your head already?
It's a good
Confidential.
Question. Good question.
We have ideas. We
You
do
do.
have ideas. We're working on a script right now, but it's not ready to be shared yet.
And do you work well together, or is there a leader and a follower, or do you take turns doing that?
Definitely take turns.
I think we take turns.
And it's actually
definitely.
just like you said earlier, like we kind of just feed off of each other. And whenever one's down, the other one's up, and kind of just pull each other along.
Yeah.
How hard was this to do over 4 years? Did you ever want to just give up and say, what are we doing?
We talk about that all the time. It was so hard. It was only us. So we had to be each other's cheerleaders. Like when he felt like we could not physically go on and we didn't know what we were doing and we were so lost, I'd have to step in and be like, Lorenzo, we got this. We've come so far. We have to keep going, and vice versa. He'd always be there for me when I had my doubts, and I would say, I can't go away for 2 months at a time anymore. I can't leave my boyfriend, my family,
It's
my friends.
expensive,
It's
too.
expensive.
Yeah.
It's really exhausting, but to see it now all done, it was worth every minute of it.
Well, the two of you should be very proud.
Thank you.
Taylor,
you.
Lorenzo, go see You and Me. It's fantastic, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for having us.
Thanks.
Made a trivial pursuit, spend one this in. Who is this girl I spend all night kissing? And if one was right here, then who else is missing? Got a little sidetracked, if I'm so wishing I found the keys to the door, but it's all so